Good day everyone. Today me and my group will discuss the lesson about the environmental crisis. Maybe some of you are familiar in this lesson. My topic is all about the environmental science, anthropogenic impact, kaingin farming, overuse of common property, resources, tragedy of the common, convenient modern lifestyle, and the throwaway society, global warming, El Nino, man-made causes of biodiversity loss like climate change, pollution, and lastly, the habitat destruction and degradation. Environmental science. Environmental science is a relatively young field of study and is brought about by need to study not only the natural environment but also how humans are changing it. In this aspect, we will see our environment and how humans changing it. Anthropogenic impact is a human behavior towards the environment has been strongly influenced by survival needs. The earliest humans were supposed to have been nomadic hunter-gatherers. They lived off the land until there was nothing much to be consumed. Then they would move off to find areas. During that time, there were only a few humans, so that even as they move off to fresher ground, the exploited areas could recover. As we can see in the future, there are only a few humans, so that even as they move up to the fresher grounds, the exploited areas could be recovered. Because they were not totally consumed the environment, unlike now, that there were many people who totally consume our environment without thinking the harmful effects of it in our society, especially to those persons who really want to see the beauty of our environment. Kaingin farming. It involves a process of clearing up a forest, burning, planting, harvesting, transferring another area within the forest and going back to the original cultivated area. It is also takes about 15 years. This is enough time for the soil to rejuvenate. Some people are still doing this to make their job easily without knowing how this aspect will affect our society and what can be the possible effects this in our country. If we were still doing this, all of us will suffer in the consequences of our environment. Overuse of common property resources, tragedy of the common. Another example of a social factor that leads to environmental degradation. A localized example of there is the throwing of household garbage and the influence of industries into the Pasig River. We can see in the picture that there is a people throwing garbage into the river. This may be lead to the environmental degradation. This aspect can have a harmful effects in our environment, but not just our environment. It may also affect our health, convenient modern lifestyle, and the throwaway society. So common in urban centers and even in progressive provinces. The uses of instant coffee, noodles, diapers, excessive uses of plastics, styrofoam, and other disposables, air conditioning units. In our modern world, people nowadays are very familiar in this because we can see this everywhere. Throwaway society because all of us are doing this. We used to throw this whenever we are.
Hi, I'm Andrew Bentic. Our topic is the environmental crisis. So the first topic is the overpopulation. Overpopulation in the Philippines is increasing rapidly, and it's projected to increase from the current million to 99.7 million to 113.3 million in 2020. So, more than 7 billion today, the world population continues to increase and it's expected to exceed 10 billion in 2050. The change in the number of individuals per unit area in a given locality is an important variable that has a significant impact on the entire ecosystem. Overpopulation causes poverty and also a high birth rates on basic resources because of lack of family planning. The effect of this, it can affect our food and water supply. So, for me, overpopulation can solve by improvement family planning and education to our rising awareness about this issue and make a birth regulation about this issue. to stop poverty is a garbage problem. So, the world population continues to increase, so does the world garbage disposal problem. Garbage trash, rubbish, or refuse is a waste material that is discarded by humans usually to perceive lack of utility. Dump garbage is a proof of the worsening problem of the attainable solution yet in sight. Garbage problem have a solution like segregation of waste. It is a very important to segregate waste before disposing of it. Segregation of waste reduce the waste you put out and make it simpler to recycle and compost. So, refer the usable items instead of throwing them away. The third topic is the solid waste. Industrial waste composed to 9, 9 to 100 million tons, household and commercial waste 300 million tons, and hazardous waste from 60 to 250 million tons. Developed countries produce more garbage than developing countries. Garbage has become a huge problem because of lack of dumping sites. Solid waste management present complex technical challenges. They also pose a wide variety of administrative, economic, and social problems that must be managed and solved. Solid waste is a one solution. The solution is recycling of the solid waste. It is the process of converting waste into some new or usable product, thereby preventing waste disposal, so we can recycle it. The next topic is open dumps. In the Philippines, there are at least 10 huge open dumps, the most popular of which is Smoky Mountain, where a tragic of garbage took several lives in July 10, 2000. The effect of open dumping include health, environmental, and economic consequence. While legal waste disposal location such as landfills are designated to contain waste and its byproducts from infiltrating the surrounding environment. Due to this illegal dumping may sometimes lead to population pollution of the surrounding environment. Open dumps can grow larger and may attract dumping of both sides of both solid and hazardous waste. Open dumps pose to following health, safety, and environmental threats: fire and explosion.
Second is ocean dumping. Ocean dumping is the deliberate disposal of hazardous waste at sea from vessels, aircraft, platforms, or other human made structures. Another wrong disposal practices. Ocean dumping has been done for decades in belief that the oceans are bottomless. Deliberate disposal of wastes in sea is called ocean dumping. Naturally occurring debris such as dry food. Waterborne plastic poses a serious threat to fish, seabirds, marine reptiles, marine mammals, as well as the boats and coasts. Hydrophobic contaminants, bioaccumulation in fatty tissues, biomagnifying up the food chain and pressuring apex predators and humans. So at first, if we hear the word ocean dumping, it irritates because it is very wrong way of waste process because as we all know, ocean is the natural habitat of some living species like seabird and fishes. Hello everyone, I'm Dayan and this is my first topic, landfills. What is landfill? Landfills are the site designated for dumping rubbish, garbage, or other sorts of solid waste. So, some landfill sites are also used for waste management purposes, such as temporary storage, consolidation, and transfer, or for various stages of processing waste materials, such as sorting, treatment, or recycling. Unless they are stabilized, landfills may experience severe shaking or soil liquefaction during a large earthquake. Today, the problem is a lack of landfill sites worldwide due to the greater awareness about the risks associated with garbage. A recent strategy in using technology to make landfills cleaner and safer in building residents on them. So basically, landfills is the main reason why liquefactions happens, and during earthquake, the the building gets destroyed easier. Fourth is incineration. Incineration is a waste treatment process that involves the combustion of organic substances contained in waste materials. Incineration is an alternative method of waste disposal which reduces the volumes of waste by 90% and removes the toxins. Further, incineration discourages recycling because it will be easier to throw away paper, glass, plastics, and other waste to be burned. In some countries, incinerators built just a few decades ago often did not include a material separation to remove hazardous, bulky, or recyclable materials before combustion. So basically, incineration is process using a burning it burns a waste, and that's the process of incineration. Recycling. Recycling is a process of converting waste materials into new material and object. It could be reduced considerably the amount of garbage by reusing plastics, glass, aluminum, metals, scraps, iron, and other materials. This would reduce air, water, and land pollution. The process also reduced the accompanying air pollution by 85% and water pollution by 76%. Air pollution is reduced 95% and water pollution is 97% when aluminum is recycled and requires 95% less energy than mining and processing its resources. Bauxite added to the list is the prevention of further deterioration when paper is recycled. Recycling can prevent the waste of potentially useful materials and reduce the consumption of fresh raw materials, thereby reducing energy usage, air pollution from incineration, and water pollution from landfilling. So, recycling is very known like DIY, and it helps to expand our creative side. So for me, recycling is good because it's lessen the waste.